first stage. So yeah, I hope you guys had a couple of drinks already, because I'll be trying to make some jokes. I think you'll need the drink. Okay, so yeah, let me get started. Thank you for coming, everyone. And I'm honored and really happy to be here presenting you this project, this vision of Yellow. Let's get it started. So yeah, I'm the world's best boss. I'm waiting for my cup. Nobody bought me one yet, but I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm very proud to be the CEO and the co-founder of Yellow. I'll be making a bit of background and history of how did it happen. This slide was made in Ukraine for a Ukrainian crowd. So French American, live and love Ukraine. I figured I would leave it here. I'm a Web 1 entrepreneur. I'm a cloud architect. I've been working for European banks environment. I've been doing a lot of peer-to-peer technology, search engine, many interesting things from, I would say, old Web 1 architecture. And so this is a 20 years career in startup entrepreneur and IT engineer that brings me here to a very exciting time of Web 3.0. So all of the things I learned in scaling the web is something I bring as an asset in Yellow. Lots of our developers has been trained on DevOps and cloud practices, and I believe that this is what blockchain needs a little more. Is a little more cloud computing, because right now it's a baby and it's nowhere near the scale of what Google infrastructure is, or what the actual Web 2 architecture was here. So about Yellow. So Yellow is a blockchain accelerator. It's a network of brokers. It's a network of cryptocurrency exchange. We have built quite many of them and supporting them. We are also a market maker. So we are creating order book. It's a new kind of job, market making in crypto. It sounds like logistic of inventory. So you're managing inventory of crypto asset and you need to ship it at every location over the planet just in time because you want to be capital efficient. So market making is definitely a job that I learned here with Alexis and is a big activity of us. And finally, we are definitely a Web3 company. That's a very interesting thing, and a lot of investors are saying, oh, you guys are a big company for crypto. So we are counting 120 employees across the planet. And so, you know, often here I say that the co-working space in Chiang Mai is a small operation for us. It's a small team in terms of staff. It might be a big place and has a big potential here, but it's a small thing on our organigram, which I like it to be at the centerpiece of our work and company. So a bit more about the team, the background, and some of the history. So many of you may know Alexis, really the founder of Yellow, which had this vision of the incubator, the vision of the pre-seed funding, and so blockchain incubator. So I'll explain this a bit. Bakhtiar is our CFO. He's, I forgot where he's from, Azerbaijan? No. Yeah, Azerbaijan, living in Ukraine. Well, he made it out, thank God. He has 18 years of PwC, so he's a very strong asset in our company. So myself and Camille, we are the Frenchies. We work together since high school. Camille is in Koh Samui, so he's now based in Thailand as well. And so yeah, I would say I believe that for the French school reason, he chose Koh Samui, but you might have met him here. He comes quite often. So we together are the founder of two companies, French ones, Helios Technologies and Openware. And so we've been doing business together as both passionate of IT for more than 20 years. Helios Technology being the first one providing cloud services for banks, so infrastructure for banks and security. And Openware is the little one that we decided to build because of the new crypto trend coming in 2017. For us, I would say, it means crypto coming to banks, or need of infrastructure and need of our competence. So before it was a bit more Bitcoin mining, and I would say 2017 was kind of like, okay, industries, financial institutions are looking at it in a more serious way, so we made the shift. At the moment we made the shift, we had no time for Helios, we were too busy with Openware, and this became a fast-growing company. So I would say from 1 employee to 80 employees in a matter of a year or two. So that's what we call a fast-growing company. And so Yellow, for the story, was a customer of Openware, and we've been working together, sharing the same vision with Alexis. I came here even with Valentine in early stage for providing consulting and team training, and that was very interesting. And we had a lunch for the story with Alexis, a breakfast, and I explained him my vision, and then he looked at me and said, well, that's exactly what I have in mind for Yellow.com. And he did not even have to explain much about his program because we were already in the same kind of vision and understanding. That's how this came to discussion for a merger. And so that's how, by adding our staff, our competence, today we are quite a strong team and a big one for Web3. Finally, Sergey, the newest hire, I would say, the ex-R&D director of Bitfury. Bitfury are guys that are from Ukraine. Actually, I came to Ukraine from the creator, the founder of Bitfury. He was my friend and my connection in the years, I would say, maybe 2005. And then he just happened to be like looking at creating mining chip. I was like, what the hell are you doing, man? You're wasting your time doing this. I mean, Bitcoin, come on, well, it's going to be a trend. And yeah, now Bitfury is mining 20% of all Bitcoins. It's really a serious player. I would even say it's the biggest player because the other companies they don't own their data centers and facilities the same way as Bitfury does. So I would say as the biggest entity mining Bitcoin. And so, for example, Bitmain is a big one in China. They're mostly selling hardware to retail customer, and so you cannot say the same way. They're selling hardware while Bitfury is mining Bitcoin with their hardware. So now he's the CEO of the company. You can see a few pictures of us below. So that's us in some blockchain event in Ukraine. That's our school with the Openware logo. So you see I got the inspiration from the metal outside, and we did put the Openware logo because we don't really have a brand presence of Yellow in Ukraine. And so this is our blockchain school in the University of KPI, open to anyone, and it's a academy training program, and it's quite interesting. So all of these guys are participating in the teaching. The Yellow team, the logo that you know, and a summer party we had last summer in the middle of COVID. No problem, it's Ukraine. So now I'm going to give you guys a bit of context. I should watch my time so we don't make a 4-hour presentation. Okay. 10 minutes, I guess. So yeah, these slides are actually highly technical. I'm using them mostly for venture capital or crypto-savvy investors. So this one, I introduced this one to give you a bit of perspective outside of crypto. So like traditional finance, we all live in this world, so we are all using it. It's not very apparent compared to the size of the operation. So here, I was making a parallel between the maturity of the industries. And so crypto is not about finance, but finance in crypto is big, and it's the main revenue generator, the main business model these days. I'm hoping in the future it will not be the case. Finance will be one of the applications. You can do logistics, you can do, I don't know, COVID pass tracking, whatever you like. So yeah, FINRA is an organization in the US. They are overseeing the broker license. They are overseeing protecting the US consumer from market manipulation. I believe it's a good thing to do. So, unregulated finance is problematic. You may have heard of Ponzi schemes. So, with a lot of bad financial advice and marketing, you can get people to think that they're going to do a great investment. Understanding the risk of investment is very complicated, and that's what FINRA is doing. They are sort of policing the space. So this is 624,000 brokers across the US and about 3,000 brokerage firms that is licensed. If you would work without those guys in finance, like the consumer market, the guys who are putting their retirement money or their saving in there, or companies putting pensions in there, if you would do it without regulated people, that would be the same as, going to get your doctor's healthcare advice from unlicensed doctor that didn't do any education, or lawyers that don't have any degree. That you would get very strange and different results. So you wouldn't want to do that, and I think it's a good thing. If you look at it from the crypto side, there is no licensed broker. Actually, a licensed broker can do crypto sales, but it's still not really happening. So I would say that the thing that there is in terms of brokerage, like giving access to the investment, is the small exchange. I mean, small, medium, large exchange. So didn't have enough space here. So I would say about 400 of them. They are all unregulated, all in tax haven, most of them. And it's a problem. They are not qualified to give financial advice, and they are the gateway that everyone uses to access crypto. So it's a problem. The combined market cap of the top 20 stock exchange operators, I mean here, New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, and that's a tiny fraction of finance. It's 115 trillion. The parallel of the coin market cap in crypto is 1.5 trillion. We're having a big Bitcoin dominance, so that's really, really small compare. And here I did not mention the sum of all equities, the sum of all forex, the sum of all commodities. So we will be reaching probably $1,000 trillion. So the comparison between traditional finance and crypto finance is 1,000 times. Separation of responsibilities, very important stuff as well. You don't want to give all financial responsibilities to a single entity like Binance. Binance is a bank, a custodian, an issuer, a launchpad, an investment firm. It's everything, and that's not really a safe thing to do. So in traditional finance, you have different licenses. You have a retail bank license, you have acquiring bank license, you have custodian, you have broker, exchange. So the exchange here are not crypto exchange, they are equity stock exchange, or carbon tax exchange, or commodity exchange. They are licensed, and they can't touch the money. So they only matching orders or managing data on API, but they don't have the custody of the assets. And they don't do brokerage either. So as the end customer, you cannot go to the NASDAQ and just send your order directly to the NASDAQ. Whereas in crypto, you can do that. You can just connect to an exchange and send directly orders on the order book. So there is a big difference, and I think the key takeaway here is that crypto finance cannot protect retail investors. So it's a problem for scaling crypto finance. Now here I made a parallel between the two industries. So, like a nice Ponzi pyramid with an eye on top of it, like the US dollar bill. And here a bit of a mess, the crypto soup. So yeah, you could be, majority is the crypto exchange, like the big companies, the big money makers. So yeah, the crypto exchange are doing a bit of everything. They're managing their own security in-house, they're doing their custody, they're issuing their stable coin, so they act as banks. Some of them have scam issues. There is hacks, Launchpad, highly controversial, highly cool stuff. Launching startup, that's great, but come on, IPO exists, and this is regulated, and there is a good reason for that. Insider trading, let's be honest, crypto, ethic of doing business is not very good. And that's, long time been a topic. People have been going in jail in Wall Street for insider trading. I'm sure they still do it, but at least there is like some rules, business practices, and licenses. So yeah, on the other side, you can see the segmentation of responsibility. So there is not so many exchanges across the planet, about 100 exchanges. Following the exchange, there is a technical infrastructure we call ECN, and those ECN are copying, relaying the API and the data to make, for example, NASDAQ data available globally. So these are servers, fiber optic, low latency stuff, which is the opposite of what blockchain is, slow as well. Major liquidity providers, so that's a bit more complicated, but that's, prime brokers, dark pool. Sounds dark, but dark pool are middle layers that are combining, batch volume from, let's say, different regions. So they are matching orders between regions, between underlying brokers. So they are larger brokers, like prime brokers are. So a prime broker is usually guys that are connected directly to the exchange, and so they have the largest volume, and so they will usually have a retail broker being connected to their API, and so they would do a lot of direct business, so they are really the important guys. And you could think of, maybe the future prime broker are the exchange of today in crypto. The custodian banks, so these are the licensed guys for keeping your money, because in finance, the money stays in database. Sounds crazy when you think about it, but so there is a set of bytes in data server, in database. If the hard disk crash or if there is any issue in the database, a zero comes in. It's hard to explain. Only accounting might figure it out, but there is this is very unreliable system, but we didn't find better between gold, paper, and then electronic money. That's great. So technically nobody else can keep money because they are not licensed for having electronic money on your server. You can get licenses, but it's not gonna make you like an e-money license. We don't say PayPal because they have bank license. Can I think of one? Maybe those Thailand companies we have True Wallet, for example. These are licensed e-money provider. They have their own database, but they have to work with a bank in the backbone. So they have a double accounting. So the money is actually in a custodian, not on their servers. And it's good. Licensed custodian bank is a good thing. They are audited by government. we have their solvency, they have duties, and their job is security, safeguarding the money, putting procedure here, and that's easier for regulator to regulate all of the industry by layers, because everyone has a different job, so they can specialize the auditor in each risk assessment, checklist, and process. So there is specialist regulator for banks, specialist regulator for brokers, and there is as well court, arbitrage, sets of business practice for each industry. And so this is very ill-fee, not ill-fee. Ill-fee, not ill-fee, okay? So these things has to change. I don't think we're gonna do that alone, of course, but I think we should talk about it. It's an issue, and for the good sake of evolution of crypto, that's absolutely necessary that we solve this problem. Okay, that was like the context about what we are doing at Yellow, like what's the situation in crypto, and kind of like a problem we want to focus on. Something we learn at Openware, hence the slide is blue now, and I figured mixing yellow and blue would be nice for Ukraine. Openware is a company that has been building 150 exchange, and it was a difficult job. We had to listen to every customer and do what they ask. That's typical. So in the end, we came to the same conclusion. All our customers, they had regulatory issues because of the mess I explained before. Because the laws are not built for the mess. They are built for the organized legal framework. And so with the new exchange, you come up with like, oh, you can keep your own money because you can just run a Bitcoin server, and then voila, you are a custodian, you have access to keeping money. Regulators are like, no way, that's not how it's supposed to work. And crypto thinks that they have to change the entire legal framework that we use for 50 years, and that we've built millions of jobs out of it, specialty, university specializations. No, that's completely unreal. Crypto have to adapt here. The other points I wrote, high startup cost, insufficient liquidity. So as I said, market making is about moving asset to those exchange. It's a very difficult job to do. You need to be specialized. Not every broker can understand it and do it well. So usually our customer fail here. And last is the security. Let's be honest, it's not very good. Of course, our software is the best, and the security. But we tell our customer, like, please don't share an email account with different employees. Use some proper cold wallet storage and things like that. What we see sometimes is not exactly the recommendation we give them. So I'm narrowing down to the problem of the pitch. So some of these slides, the black one, are from the pitch about the yellow token sale. So there are way too many blockchains. It's again a problem within the problem within the problem. So that way too many blockchain is a good thing. We innovate, people have ideas, and they create a new layer one. Or maybe a not so good thing is like Bitcoin Cash, like what innovation did they brought? It's controversial, but maybe Litecoin was cool. So many networks, but the problem is that they all compete with each other. So eventually they all add something onto the engineering side of things, all case study, experiment, and things to play with. But on the other side, from the operations and usage, it just makes things way difficult for the guys who work in finance. What do you mean I cannot transfer my USDT across blockchain? Well, no, and that's not what they have in finance. I make you cross-country bank transfer, that just works. You don't need to worry about that. So specifically in our case, central exchange architecture is not very good, let's be honest with it. It's not something blockchain creator can be proud of because it uses a basic matching engine architecture. It includes the custody and it's purely centralized. There is nothing decentralized about this. There is nothing innovative in Binance. All exchange the same. Decentralized exchange, I think it's very interesting. It's a new creation, but it's not there yet. It's not a replacement of centralized exchange. And so what I would say, I mean, still those two technologies have brought something, but it is truly not the decentralized, high-speed financial infrastructure that, you know, the world should be using for managing $1,000 trillion. Maybe one day when traditional finance will use Web3 and blockchain. Of course, we have the solution. We fixed it. So one thing that I like to say is that, you know, you don't build another blockchain to fix the problem of blockchains. And Yellow is a Web3 company not building blockchain. We are building a new layer, a new network, which if some people are from Lightning Network here, is way more similar to Lightning Network than blockchain, okay? So, well, it may be a bit technical, so an overlay mesh network. Overlay means over every other layer, so blockchains, on top of blockchains. Mesh is, you know, like a metal grid, so it's the shape that is highly decentralized. It helps for network congestions, and so you can think that your Netflix movies are a mesh network of movies. You know, you can download them from any point with the same latency. That's great. That's high planetary scale infrastructure. And so we're using state channel, which kind of have been invented with the Lightning Network guys. So the evolution came with the name state channels. And so for us, state channel is a smart contract that help us to, let's say, connect under layer to higher layers, to our overlay. And so the end goal is that we can make a highway for high frequency trading of all assets, of all blockchains, without performance bottleneck of blockchains, without the cost, without the problem of decentralized exchange, which are not so decentralized anymore. And here you see like a planetary scale solution. So the true decentralized exchange. Well, I was expecting another slide. So that's the drawing, the illustration. I'll come back to it a bit later. So I'll be a bit more technical. So state channel started with this Lightning Network things. Well, everybody was saying, "Wow, Bitcoin is so great. Let's use it for micropayment." But clearly, the performance was not here. So that would make a very interesting, let's say, replacement to Visa or whatever. It's an interesting settlement network, and Lightning Network did it. And that's an overlay network on top of Bitcoin. And it's a good proof that it can be done. Truly horizontally scalable to billions of transactions per second. The more nodes you add in a state channel network, like Lightning Network, the more performance you will get. Like the Google infrastructure, they just add more server, it just works. It's crypto too, because you know cryptocurrency are not disconnected from cryptography. And state channel uses cryptography, so we're using cryptographic proof and signature in state channel. So that's that's cryptocurrency as well, I would say. It's blockchain agnostic and multi-chain capable. Since it's off-chain and it's a new layer, then I would say it's not attached to any chain in particular, so you can connect it to any chain you would like. It's great for connecting the infrastructure of the Internet of Value. I'm not sure Internet of Value is really a thing, or I just made it up, or Internet of Finance, but I call it the Internet of Value The Internet of Value is a bit of, think of it like, when you're downloading a movie, you are streaming kilobyte and intellectual property and copyright. So this has value. So it's a stream of value. IoT is also event messages that have a purpose and that have a value attached to it. And so, network data is value, which sometimes we need to pay with a credit card or a membership or an internet provider. And that will disappear one day because you can merge together the network and the Internet of Value. So you don't need this separation. I have my membership. You just can have, let's say, a Netflix coin, and every minute you're going to watch Netflix, you're going to be paying with your Netflix crypto, for example. Same thing, the Amazon coin maybe, which will give you miles of delivery of packages or something like that. Differently than traditional blockchain, state channel require trust. So you need a brand, you need a trust in what you do. And so that's very important for the GAFA. So the GAFA, like Google, Apple, Facebook, YouTube, they have their domain name .com with a SSL. So when you put your kids on YouTube, you're like, okay, it's kids safe. So I trust YouTube brand for doing censoring, copyright management. And so yeah, that's the level of trust that exists into those big brands that we created in the web. So I don't think it's necessary to be trustless at every cost. I don't think, trustless Bitcoin or trustless Monero everywhere. I mean, I think Monero is great. Privacy-oriented coins, but it's also, you have the best and the worst in those places. You can, do anything you like with Monero. So the yellow representation is those state channels. These layers that you may have heard of them, those old blockchains. So now, honestly, in terms of layer one, I think there is more than hundreds. So that's really complicated to unify all of this liquidity. There's lots of Ethereum, private Ethereum clone, Ethereum Polymatic, Polygon, and etc. Now there is Solana, super trendy, there is Avalanche, there is Polkadot. They're all pretty much the same, honestly, let's be honest. They're all like a consensus, they all say they are better and more innovative, but honestly, since Bitcoin, nobody has really invented something really revolutionary, okay? They've just been improving it. Okay, we move from proof of work to proof of stake. It's still a consensus, it's still the basic same principle, okay? So we deployed a small smart contract in every chain that allow us to virtualize the assets in those chains. And then we have, this finance-friendly environment that they can understand that they use every day at work, which is order book, order markets, and so on. Everything is unified. Like if you're going to buy gold or buy equities, you use the same mechanic of trading and trading UI and candlesticks. So that's what we do, and so we rebuild a trader-friendly layer where they don't need to worry about how is it working under the hood. Okay? So we call this a layer 3. So maybe some of you have heard layer 1 blockchains like Bitcoin, layer 2, they usually fold and they give a performance boost. So they fold on layer 1. And we are on top of everything, a layer 3 network. This is non-custodial, so that actually means, like in my presentation, we deal with data, but we don't deal with money. We don't touch money, we don't move bitcoins and so on. Because all of these layers, that's their job. So we don't need to redo it. So we trust Bitcoin for Bitcoin transfer. No problem here. So finally, that's how we unify all chains. I don't know if I should go on this one. So maybe, so this is what's happening under the hood, and a bit of, this is about finance. So I don't know, you want to go for it? Okay. Okay. Okay, so, well, as I say, we build exchange. So the members of the yellow network are brokers. Brokers, node, financial node or liquidity hub, they are peers from the network that deal with money. There is three kinds. Exchange could be like centralized one, liquidity hub like prime brokers, retail brokers that have a website in Thailand and sell Bitcoin for Thai baht, okay, with true money. That's only in Thailand. And the market maker, which are actually, or the hedge funds, they are running a node, but they don't need a customer-facing UI, and they're working with money, they're making logistics, they're making their work here. So there is these kinds of different participants. And so in our business, we are acting as a clearinghouse. So we have a smart contract that sits in the middle and that makes trading broker to broker or business to business reliable. And so the way we do that is by collecting a collateral, and in case one of the parties is not settling on blockchain, we release the collateral. That's how it works in finance. That's how finance scale globally, Forex, equity, CFD, through clearinghouse. So clearinghouse are accounting firm which is keeping a collateral between participants, and they exchanging position or keeping position between financial institutions. So what happened under the hood is that our backend is going to decide to open a peering relationship, a state channel, which we call here a trading channel, between those two brokers. And so they're going to move a stable coin onto the adjudicator. It's our smart contract, and some yellow token for paying fees. So once this is done on both sides, they have their off-chain high-speed trading link, ensured by the collateral that is kept on blockchain. Okay? So now they can send millions of transactions per day. It can be low latency trading, high frequency trading. It can be a market maker on an exchange. It can be exchange to exchange. You have a wide variety of cases here. And so they are actually accessing with a single currency, USDT stablecoin or another one, thousands of markets, thousands of trading instruments means different currencies. And that's unique because before that, you needed to buy thousands of currencies in order to list them and to put them to sell in your inventory for your customer. A bit like a supermarket need to fill in all the shelves. Here, with a single product, you can resell 1,000 other products. That's how it works in finance equities, like eToro.com or Robinhood. They're not buying the asset, they're just reselling the asset from the prime broker. So they can continue the trading relationship for weeks, for months, until the collateral becomes at risk. And so we're using something called swaps that is imported from banking. So they use what we call foreign currency swaps for ensuring foreign currency between countries and banks. So for example, Thai baht are not leaving Thailand, but you can do business with American banks. But American banks don't want the Thai baht, so they use this mechanism called swaps. This is the same here in our case. So these are swaps. Not to confuse with Uniswap swaps. Not the same at all. A Uniswap swap is actually a settlement, and we are just making deals. So when the collateral becomes at risk, the broker sending a message, execute me a settlement. And this message is quite important because there is a timeout associated if the other broker does not deliver the settlement, so maybe Bitcoin, maybe Solana, he's going to be able to access the collateral in the adjudicator. So it's a rather simple system. I'm open for questions if you guys have any. And the link stays open between those brokers. So they make, for example, a daily settlement on sets of currencies, but they don't need settlement on all the currencies. Because a lot of traders are going to trade Phantom or Solana, but they're never going to withdraw the Solana. So you don't need to have the settlement or the move of Solana. You're just buying a speculative position in Solana, but they don't all have the desire to withdraw it and use it on the network from the browser. Maybe Solana the most, but let's say, well, some speculative asset, maybe some metaverse stuff, you might not take the token out of the exchange. And usually the exchange, you withdraw Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDT, stablecoin. So yeah, anyone has a question? Does it mean I was super clear? Okay, cool. So some utilities about the yellow token. So this is a purely decentralized economy, so a bit like Bitcoin is. Anyone who mine, trade. So now we have invented what we call the proof of trade, is when two parties agree that the trade was executed and settled. So we mining proof of trades, of chain, and so we're rewarding them with yellow token. And so, let's say that the one adding value, which are the liquidity provider, are collecting the yellow token from the one consuming the value, which is consuming crypto asset. So prime brokers are usually collecting yellow token, and retail brokers are paying their fees, their inventory in yellow token. So anyone really starting a business on yellow network is going to be in this economy of gaining or giving yellow token. So the stacking requirement for a broker is set to a minimum of 250,000 yellow token. That's also an insurance fund in case of non-settlement after 30 days. And that will give you access to 4 trading channels. So that's 4 peers you can have on your brokerage. And so if you stack 1 million tokens, you'll get 16 trading channels. So why are we doing this? We have a plan, we have a strategy. It's not just a great idea. We did it because we have a market access. So Openware is a popular solution for cryptocurrency exchange. And so people call us for building their exchange. And so we have about 40 people per week calling us to get an exchange. So now we're giving them a turnkey exchange with yellow network liquidity built in. The strategy, you've understood it. It's divide and conquer. It's a planetary scale. And it's not about us getting the monopoly of the planet. Absolutely not. It's about sharing a market with different industry participants. So the more industry participants we have, the better it is. And I would say the less market share we have, the better it is over the planet. So, 1,000 yellow nodes around the globe, which are, paying their yellow token, peering liquidity. So again, market makers, hedge funds, exchange, prime brokers, retail brokers. Also, we even think about crypto enthusiasts trying to do the Uber of market making or Uber of liquidity. So we can crowdsource the liquidity. Having thousands of, let's say, students who can't be mining Bitcoin anymore, and now they can use their Binance account to be mining liquidity and becoming a home-based market maker. And the quantity matters, and the diversity. So we know the hard way here at Yellow that, for doing market making on lots of markets, we need thousands of bots, millions of lines of configuration, and monitoring all of this with a team of 5 people. And they are suffering. When you have 2,000 people deciding, I have a lot of this shitcoin and I would like to mine it to the Yellow network, that's much easier. They have one link to maintain, and so they're farming or stacking some liquidity. Another way to call this, it's called making your capital work. And so they can collect a bit of Yellow token by having their capital that's sitting, doing nothing. So they are hodling some shitcoin. Sorry, that's how we call them. So there is this segment as well. There is our customer, the financial institution, the big exchange, the brokers, and also the future fintech entrepreneur that come from finance that now will be running a node and a business for selling retail crypto, which is a business, a job that does not really exist yet in crypto. The yellow token distribution, so there is 10 billion token, not one more, it's a hard-coded limit in the contract. And every time there is a movement of fees, we are burning a portion of this token. So this is, the market is going to go on deflation. And in circulation, there won't be too many tokens, actually between 1 and 3 billion tokens in circulation, and a lot of tokens being locked by the broker for the collateral. And so the incentive for the trader enthusiast to get them to connect their yellow node to the Binance account is here. We are doubling the fees that they can collect in the early stage to give extra incentive, and then halving this, the same as Bitcoin. That's our cash flow for the company, and actually not only our company, other partner company that develop the technology. This is for investment of brokers, so we can finance brokers, stack them in tokens, so they come to us, they want the software, they have a great team, and so we can use the community fund to build more brokers. Growth hacking rewards, also very interesting. Referral program, airdrop, anything creative to bring more people in the network. So yeah, I guess this is a standard token allocation. Maybe I think you've seen many of those. So where we are right now, we are releasing the product. We did release the OpenDAX v4 SDK. That's a big achievement from Andrew here. You can applaud. We have launched our private beta for brokers. It's actually next sprint. The private beta is having yellow.com being updated with this software. So in a couple of days, it should be done. A couple of hours. So yeah, we're entering the stage of the public sale. So we are doing our private sale. It's going quite well. I would say we're even slowing down here. And now, yeah, we're focusing on that public sale event. It's not going to be so important for us, public sale, because we are more into a B2B environment. So we could even do everything through private sale. But we're going to do it because we have that mainstream brand, cool yellow brand that everybody likes and will be listed on major exchange. So, we need everyone's attention on what we are building here. And so you can see that the curve of token emission on the market is actually very slow. At the end of 12 months, we are under 1 billion tokens circulating. And that is algorithmic. That's not going to be in another way because the token are locked. The token you buy are locked in a smart contract, and you need to pool them, and you're not going to get more than that in circulation. You can pool every day if you'd like, but that's the speed of the release on the market. So that allows, maintaining the price. I think that's it for the presentation. So I will just finish with this one. Okay, 48 minutes, that's not so bad. I do better. So yeah, yellow needs you, needs everyone. So this presentation is a bit of a rehearsal in smoky season, trying to get the camera, the things working, building the stage together. We're gonna redo this over and over and over on a ritual, blockchain events, Web3 event, Lightning Network event, state channel evangelism, speak about crypto, speak about finance, how to develop this industry. That's going to happen here on that stage. The drinks, the kitchen, the co-working space. It's all an environment for stimulating that master plan, that economy. So we do invite really everyone to come in, and it's not just an invitation, it's a commitment from us to finance you and push you to succeed. And you know, I think mining Bitcoin in 2010 was a great advice. So it could be true for Yellow as well. At least you're gonna have some fun doing it. And I'm hoping it's going to be a success as well. It's definitely a different kind of crypto, but I think that's what that industry needs right now is scale, performance, and focus on solving a problem. So yeah, once again, this is really a decentralized economy. That means come to us with your competence. We'll be able to sponsor you, find you connections, integrate or give you token or whatever, or finance your project. For anyone launching a token in the incubator, there is quite many. So NFT makers usually work with a token, play to earn, or whatever cool idea. You know, we are here to launch, distribute, and market your token. Like, we are quite good at this and specialists. So we are in a good position for, you know, launching your ideas and your project to a network of brokers, which I think is pretty cool. That means your token becomes globally available without having to pay Binance or QOB hundreds of thousands of dollars to be listed. No, and in a global manner, in hundreds of brokers around the planet, I think that's a pretty cool valuable listing we can do. Freelance, we're working only with partners, so we're not doing the job ourselves. So any type of professionals of remote work, that usually mean internet jobs, can help our customer to grow. And so our model is more like, oh, let us introduce you, you know, designers, business analysts, traders. They know about this and they will help you solving this problem. So this way we stay focused on the core, we stay focused on solving our problem and maintaining, you know, our network of yellow node, that it's fast, low latency, liquidity available all around the world. I like to give you an analogy with the sea and the moon. You know, the moon rotating around the planet is pulling the sea and changing the shape of the earth, hence creating the tide and the waves. And liquidity sounds like water. And actually the network we are building, the mesh network, is all around the planet. And so when the sun is rising in Japan, the traders wakes up and go onto their trading station, and they are accessing the market, pulling the liquidity in Japan. And so the content, the data, the low latency trade occurs in Japan. And the sun is going to the west, it's actually moving the liquidity to the west at the same time. And so you finish with liquidity being in California at the end of the day, going through Pacific and waking up. So 1,000 nodes with liquidity moving with the user. That's really exciting stuff. And that's what we are actually building. Edge computing network for accessing order books. That's it, guys. So I hope you like the presentation. Let's have some drink, let's talk. Let's mix in with my guys or the openware t-shirt, ask them anything, because me, I won't be speaking about work anymore. Thank you to all of my team to make this dream a reality. You know, I think Alexis and myself and all of you guys, we dreamed about creating this, about solving this problem. That's really 4 years of focus of our life. From the moment this incubator started to be created. We're finally getting there. The technology is there, is mature. It's really, I mean, we're launching the product. I could even show you some stuff. I don't know how it works. I hope there is internet. So yeah, it's a very simplified exchange. The purpose for us is not to make like the full-featured exchange, because we need our customer to build their own innovation. So we giving them an SDK, which is like component for yeah. So we're giving those components. So yeah, here you can see a different market. Let's choose maybe Bitcoin. We can see the order book. This is working with network peer-to-peer orders. Candlestick should be loading. You can now connect with MetaMask, but you'll be able to connect with other things. And the way it works is that you can go on our web SDK. Well, I will not type this long address again. So we have a React library you can download freely, and then you can get, for example, this component, or every of these components, rearrange them and create an entirely new product. So, you know, we are not only selling crypto. What's really important is that we get new kinds of assets. So, for example, music copyright, wine, why not trading wine? We have a startup trading art, real art from galleries. So we're creating new kinds of assets. And so there is all kinds of commodity that are tradable. You could trade gold as well with Bitcoin settlement. Like, why not? They settle in US dollars, so why not paying your gold supplier in Bitcoin? That's possible. So yeah, so while we see some crypto market, this is absolutely not limited. And so the more variety of asset we get from our incubates, the better it's going to be. I don't know if you guys know, there is even like fan tokens from a company called Chili, so you can buy some sports team token as a representation of you know, your interest in the team. So yeah, in crypto there'll be plenty of new tradable things, the internet of value. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to say thanks to the team who is creating that. We are going through quite hard times, you know, we are without homes, and quite happy to be here in Chiang Mai. We came before the war. This hits us like this. I hope situation will get better, but I can say that for myself, the project kind of keep me in a positive side. I feel I'm you know, doing something useful, valuable, and it keeps me away from thinking about the war. So yeah, that's it. Let's have a drink and cheers on that.